Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in to Escape Social Anxiety. This is such an important topic, and I'm so glad you're here for it. We're talking tonight about the number one distortion of all anxieties, not just social anxiety, but the number one distortion of anxieties is called catastrophic thinking. And before we really get into it, I want to make sure you know that if you have a question and put that question in the comment section, I certainly would not mention your name or say where you're from. So please know that your confidence is secure with me. And again, thanks for being here. So we're talking about catastrophic thinking, and again, that's a number one distortion of all anxieties. What is it? Catastrophic thinking is uh, a distortion, okay, that occurs when an event or trigger takes place and makes you very anxious, and all of a sudden you begin to think the worst possible outcomes, the worst possible things that could ever take place. And the worst thing about catastrophic thinking is that when we tend to believe those thoughts, that makes our anxiety and even depression even more real. So that's what we're talking about tonight, and involves assuming the worst case scenario of something. So it only takes a half a second for that trigger or that event to come into our minds and make us anxious, and our minds to go to a catastrophic thinking right away. Um, so our anxiety then locks in, okay, locks into that thought. And with it come those bodily sensations of anxiety, such as tightness of the chest, tightness of the stomach, tightness of all the muscles, um, having trouble breathing, racing thoughts, racing heart. When all of that kicks in, then it can really make a person feel like, well, I'm so anxious, it must be true. And that is absolutely not true. So, here are some examples of some general catastrophic thinking among the population of people, high school and college students. One very common one is, let's say they blank out on a test and miss a couple questions. They will automatically think, I failed. I have failed the whole semester. Or a kid in high school will think, I have failed this whole time in school and I can never make up for it. That's a real common thing. Um, so another one is that somebody not calling you back or texting you quick enough, and you begin to assume that they don't want to be in a relationship with you, and that can be very, very troublesome for people to really believe that. How about if I find a spot on my body? A person who's very medically tuned in to their body might think it's the worst. It's cancer or it's something else. It's uh, and it's not at all. But it's just the mind goes to those catastrophic thinking. Um, how about a person who thinks, I have a hard time, really hard time finding a job, and I don't think anybody wants me. So that is definitely catastrophic thinking. Um, so when it comes to social anxiety, some of the things that people think are, if I make a mistake, they will laugh at me, and I might have to change schools. People will think I'm stupid if I get called on in class and if I don't know the answer. People will think so badly of me if I mess up on a school play, or if I'm doing an instrument and I miss a couple notes. They'll think very badly of me. Um, People will think badly of me if I'm in a line at the grocery store or at a restaurant waiting in line to be placing my order, and I don't know what to order quite yet, and so people will think I don't know what I'm doing and I'm stupid and I'm dumb. Okay. um, and with socialization, people will think I can't figure out what to say at all, so without rehearsing it. So they'll be catastrophic thinking is, I'm not going to make any friends. Okay. Again, these are all examples of how catastrophic thinking can really seep in to our hearts and to our minds, and we believe them, and it can really, you know, you know, can really alter how we perceive things. So, what we want to do first off is recognize it that it is catastrophic thinking, and we do this by asking ourselves a couple questions. What is the worst that could really happen? What's the worst? Am I really going to fail this semester? Is that person really not going to call me back? So you want to ask yourself those kinds of questions to begin breaking up the catastrophic thinking. Um, you want to ask, what are the facts? What are the facts here? Do I really know what this is? Do I really know that maybe that person that we want to hear from, that they didn't lose their phone, or maybe their phone is not charged? Those types of things. We can really assume things that just are not true. And another question we can ask are, how can I get the facts? um, where can I go to get the facts and to find out if that's really true or not? So, again, asking challenge questions can begin to break up our anxiety, begin to break up our thinking, and it can really, really help to get us to stand back and to detach from that automatically thinking the worst. Okay. So, some other questions we might want to ask are, what triggered this? Is there any particular reason why this triggered me? Uh, what evidence do I have of the contrary, that this is not true at all? Okay. So the goal with catastrophic thinking is detachment. We want to be detaching ourselves from those thoughts, and asking yourself challenge questions is the way to begin detaching from those catastrophic thinking. Um, so that's a little bit of catastrophic thinking. We'll be talking a lot more about it coming up, and especially that will be in the course that will be coming out really soon.